Folks, there's something called plug-in solar power. Now, if what comes to mind is you've got a cord attached to a couple solar panels, you plug that into a receptacle in your house, and suddenly you have solar power. Well, folks, that's a real thing. And we're going to dive right into it coming up next. You know, a couple days ago, somebody left a comment asking, Leah, what do you think about plug-in solar? And I thought, you know what, that's a really good question, because a lot of homeowners, they have never even heard of plug-in solar power. And it's not a new thing, folks. It's been around. In fact, it's a big thing in Europe. And in Germany, there are over 1 million households that have plug-in solar power. So maybe you're thinking, well, what about here in this country, right? We live here in the US, Leah. Can I get plug-in solar power systems here? And the answer is absolutely yes, you can. In fact, I went on Amazon and I found a system for a very reasonable price compared to, you know, the tens of thousands of dollars you spend on those rooftop systems. Now, here's the thing, folks. I don't want you to run out and buy one of these plug-in systems right away. Even though they're available on Amazon, you got to make certain that they're allowed in the state where you reside. You're thinking, oh, gosh, darn it, Leah. I knew there had to be a catch. So here's how it works. Most of you think about an outlet as a one-way street, right? Electricity comes from the power company, travels through your house, comes through the outlet, and it powers your toaster or television, your hair dryer, or whatever you plug into it. Plug-in solar basically says, what if we send a little electricity the other way? The solar panel makes electricity. That electricity passes through a small device called an inverter. All that inverter does is change the electricity coming from the solar panel into the kind of electricity your house can actually use. So it's a bit of a game changer, isn't it? Because instead of paying the utility company for all of your electricity needs, well, now you're making some of it yourself and lowering your bill. And if you're a renter or you live in an apartment, this is really a game changer, because in the past, well, solar power has been limited to homeowners with roofs and big budgets. And now all you need is a sunny balcony, a couple plug-in panels, and you're reducing your electric bill. So I think I know what you're thinking. Leah, how much can I save? What are the savings with these plug-in solar units? Well, here's the thing. They're, for the most part, pretty small in comparison to rooftop solar power. So the savings can be modest. Now, that Amazon system that I showed you earlier, it states 20 to 40%. Now, here's the thing, though, folks. This is what I know about technology. Technology is always changing. It's advancing. It's evolving. And so I suspect that those savings, they're going to go up. I want you to think about cell phones here for a minute. When cell phones first came out, they were these big, large, bulky things. Nobody owned them except people that had lots and lots of money. And now, well, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone that didn't have a cell phone. And they're no longer those big, expensive, bulky things. And I suspect that plug-in solar is going to take the same route. It's going to change as time goes on. And you're going to be hard-pressed to find a home that doesn't have a plug-in unit. Now, maybe you're thinking, I got another question, Leah. You mentioned earlier in the video to check and see whether or not I could use it in the state or area I reside. And that, well, probably tells you that it's not available everywhere. You can't use it everywhere. And that's the case. There's just a very small amount of states and areas in this country where you can use plug-in solar power. And so here's the reason why. It has to do with safety and regulations, and it's taken the United States a little while to catch up with the technology and make some changes. So here's the thing. If you're a utility company, you have to be concerned about your workers. And if power goes out, if there's a terrible storm or a hurricane, and you want to send workers to work on lines, you're assuming that those lines are not energized, and you don't want to put your workers at risk, especially if somebody has plug-in solar power and it energizes the line. But there are other safety questions as well. Could you overload the wiring? Will the circuit breaker still protect the circuit properly? And what about GFCIs? These are the kinds of questions that safety organizations here in the United States are working through right now. So that's why it's just taken a while for regulations and rules and utility companies to catch up with technology and the things that are available to consumers today to bring down those energy bills. Now I gotta say this, if you found this video helpful, I want you to check out the seejanedrill Homeowner Survival Guide. You know, it's a book that you can read, you can watch, or do both, because there are QR codes with videos that walk you through all the repairs that appear in this book. You know, it's kind of like I'm right there with you, telling you, do this, no, don't do that. And chapter 9 of the seejanedrill Homeowner Survival Guide talks about electricity, kind of like what we were talking about today. Shows you how to put in switches, outlets, fixtures, so you want to check it out. I'll place a link in the description below. This is Leah saying, you can do this. See you next time.